Live from the Fox Studios in Columbia, it's Watch Fox News at 10, local first.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us for Watch Fox News at 10. I'm Kiana Jordan. We're going to go ahead and send it over to the weather department with meteorologist Brian Ivy.
Thanks so much, Kiana. It's definitely a very warm one tonight. It's going to be a slow drop into the 70s, still 80 degrees in Columbia at this time. We are going to continue to see very warm weather through the day tomorrow. Not too much in the way of cloud cover, though, so a mainly clear night upon us. We will see a mainly clear day tomorrow. Here is Aaron, and it is a very strong hurricane, still a Category 3 storm. It could get back into Category 4 strength, possibly. Temperatures right about the upper 70s to 80 degrees area wide. We will start dropping just a few clicks as we go throughout the evening into the overnight. 74 should be a pretty common temperature, so staying muggy. It'll be a quick rise through the 70s, 80s, and even 90s tomorrow, all the way up into the middle 90s for those highs. And with the mugginess, it's going to feel like, around 100 to 103 degrees or so. This is likely the hottest day of the week. We'll talk about when we have some shower and thunderstorm chances in my full forecast ahead.
One man is dead after a shooting at the Vista Tower apartments. According to the Columbia Police Department, officers arrived at 927 Vista Towers Drive around 1 p.m. and found a man with a gunshot wound. EMS transported the injured man to a local hospital where he later died. Police have arrested the victim's 18-year-old cousin, Kai Murray. He is charged with murder and possession of a deadly weapon during a violent crime. Now, Murray was detained immediately at the scene and is now at the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center. Well, South Carolina Democrats are calling on Governor Henry McMaster to keep the South Carolina National Guard in the state during this hurricane season. Now, Governor McMaster is sending them to help support President Donald Trump's federal crackdown on crime and homelessness in the nation's capital. The state Senate Dems argue the governor's decision puts South Carolinians at risk by prioritizing partisan politics in D.C. over the safety of residents at home. Now, State Senate Minority Leader Brad Huddle responded to the governor's announcement, saying, quote, sending our National Guard troops away when South Carolina faces the constant threat of hurricanes is a dangerous and irresponsible choice. Our Guard members should be on standby to protect our people and communities, not sent to fulfill a political mission in Washington. The governor owes it to the citizens of their state to put their safety first, end quote. And visitation for South Carolina Trooper Dennis Ricks is happening this Tuesday from 4 to 7 at the Dunbar Funeral Home on Divine Street. Trooper Ricks died 4 days after being critically injured when a box truck hit him during a traffic stop on Interstate 26 in Orangeburg County. Now, both the trooper's wife, Jade, and her legal team have thanked all of the officers and first responders and the organizations, including Serve and Connect, for the show of love and support during this difficult time. Serve and Connect has created an online memorial fund with a goal of raising $50,000. Now, authorities say the man driving that truck, Anthony Aidlet, was driving under suspension and more charges could be coming. Well, candidates running for offices across the state, including governor and senators, making their cases in Dorchester County this weekend. Cameron Limes from our sister station was there and shares with us what the candidates had to say.
Tonight.
And that's why I'm running for governor. Here we go. Here we go, that's right.
I hope that you will give me the opportunity, just the opportunity to earn your vote.
Candidates making their case why they deserve to take public office seats in South Carolina.
I agree that we need to doge the state from the top to the bottom, back to the top again.
Those running for governor focusing on immigration, education, and ending income tax across the state.
We need to eliminate state income tax, right? If Florida and Texas and Tennessee can do it, we can do it.
Some announcing their plans for redistricting and giving more aid to President Trump.
We're going to redistrict the 6th district. There's no reason why we shouldn't give the people of 6th district a voice. We have got 7 congressmen, 6 of them are conservative, Republicans, They've got one that votes against us on everything. He's harming his district, folks. So we're going to redistrict it and make it fair.
Although this is just the beginning of the race, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette throwing elbows, attempting to set herself apart from other candidates.
You can pick a mother of three, a conservative businesswoman and a woman of faith, or you can pick a career politician. You can pick somebody that stood with President Trump from the start, or somebody that jumped on the Trump train when it became beneficial to do that.
At tonight's event, Ellen Weaver announcing her bid for Superintendent of South Carolina, and Project 2025 Director Paul Dans announcing his bid for Senate, taking aim at Lindsey Graham's seat.
Everyone's got Lindsey's number. He's double-crossed people one too many times, and we're ready for the next generation of America First leadership, and that's what our team's going to provide.
Congresswoman Nancy Mason not making an appearance at the dinner, instead speaking in Rock Hill at her own event.
That's Cameron Limes from our sister station reporting. Well, as Hurricane Erin is spinning across the Atlantic, it won't be hitting land in the U.S., but it will cause some pretty strong rip currents in Myrtle Beach. Kara Risketts from our sister station spoke with Myrtle Beach Ocean Rescue about the risks.
Myrtle Beach has a high rip current risk Monday through Wednesday, thanks to Hurricane Erin out in the Atlantic, bringing some of its baggage to our coast, like high waves and that stronger current. I asked Tad Rubin, an ocean rescue lieutenant, about how someone can recognize a rip current from waves.
When you're looking at waves, it's a force of energy that's being pushed onto the beach, or a swell that you'll see being pushed onto the beach. So that energy is moving forward towards the sand. The rip current is moving out towards the ocean, and it's typically looks like a more calm spot in the water.
Ocean Rescue tells me because Myrtle Beach is quite dynamic, the rip currents are ever moving and never stay in the same spot, leaving beachgoers questioning what safety measures they can take when visiting the beach.
You're coming out to the ocean and out to the beach. Make sure that people walk onto a beach access point and they know the street that they're on. You know, that's a big safety thing right there, because if there is an emergency and they need to call 911, they can look at the street signs and they'll know their location, so they know where the emergency personnel need to respond to.
Before getting in, check the lifeguard tower. There is a flag there that shows the risk of the current based on the color, and signs at entrances explaining what the meaning is of each color. Keegan Ruggieri, an 11-year-old who loves to hang out at the beach, told me what he watches out for.
If you guys are going into the ocean, you guys should probably just be very cautious of the hurricane that is out in the water, and know that there's going to be a lot bigger waves than usual. And if you do get caught in a rip current, just let it take you. Don't use all your energy, and then make a signal so everybody knows, hey, I'm in a rip current.
Other tips Ocean Rescue has is swimming near a lifeguard tower, never being complacent in the ocean, and always trying to have what they call a water watcher, someone who has better swimming capabilities.
My mom teaches me a lot of it. The firemen here teach me a lot about rip currents and whatnot.
Well, tonight, a senior citizen in West Ashley struggling to find the means to get by while her home falls to pieces around her. Now she could be facing homelessness due to the repair costs on her home, and is turning to the community she's been part of her whole life for help. Tammy Jenkins has been on Social Security for years, but with the cost of living rising, she has to survive off of $900 a month, and nearly half of that goes towards her rent. Jenkins lives in a mobile home in West Ashley, which now doesn't have central heating or cooling and is sinking into the ground due to a water break below her home. She called Trident Area Agency on Aging, a program which is both public and privately funded and focuses on elderly care. Jenkins says the agency sent out a repairman who did not fix the issues she had. Instead, put plywood over the concerning areas and left. The wood has started to mold. One piece in her bathroom floor fully collapsed and left a large hole in her floor, which animals used to crawl into her home. And with no income for repairs or herself, Jenkins turned to her local church, who helped paying her light bill. She went on to say for senior citizens, finding help is difficult and she's running out of time and options.
But it's become a rude awakening that seniors, once you get in your 60s, it seems that you become a third-class citizen. It doesn't matter whether you have a place to live. It doesn't matter that you qualify for the assistance. No matter what I do, the door is being slammed in my face.
Now, Jenkins says her son moved in with her a few months ago, works part-time helping with rent, but it is still not enough to cover her bills. And tonight in Darlington County, outrage from a local church community. A historic cemetery at Swift Creek Baptist Church was badly damaged when a suspected drunk driver crashed through nearly 30 grave sites. 52-year-old Jose Trejo is facing DUI and open container charges. He's out of jail on a $514 bond. Alexis Cooper went to the church and spoke with church leaders. Now, Swift Creek Baptist Church has deep roots, established 243 years ago in 1783. It's one of the oldest churches in Darlington County, but this destruction of dozens of grave sites is a low point many parishioners describe as no surprise for this area. Deacon Jason Patrick says the crash happened around 7 last Saturday. Tire marks show where a vehicle veered off Center Road just after the curve and barreled through the cemetery. Trejo was arrested at the scene and charged with driving under the influence and released on bond.
$514 to me seemed like a very weak way to get out of jail. To think that he could have hurt real bad 2 more people, no, I don't feel like it was enough.
Now, the deacon says Trejo had insurance and they're expecting a final damage estimate in the coming days. All right, if you don't like creepy crawlers, you might want to turn away just for a second. The Ultimate National Reptile Show took over the Myrtle Beach Convention Center this weekend. The event had a wide variety of mammals, amphibians, birds, plants, and reptiles on display for sale, while also offering food and arts and craft vendors as well.
We got, a couple new things. We got a kangaroo experience. We got skunks here. We got giant geckos, giant snakes, something for everybody to see. Typically, we got geckos, lizards in general, and snakes.
Now, the reptile show runs in several cities throughout the Midwest, and this is the 3rd consecutive year of it being done in Myrtle Beach. Organizers say they'll be back next year on August 22nd and 23rd. Well, some heart-stopping moments inside a Fulton County, Georgia courtroom last Friday. The jury had just returned a verdict in a murder case. Alton Oliver was accused of shooting and killing Fulton County Deputy James Thomas in December 2022. The judge read the verdict, but then needed to correct himself. Take a listen.
The verdict, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty as to all 6 counts of the bill of indictment. Sheriff, will you please hand this to State's counsel and pass it over to...
What? No.
Didn't I say not?
No.
Sorry. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty on all 6 counts. Nope.
Now, Oliver claimed self-defense for the shooting. He said Thomas solicited him for sex. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will meet with President Donald Trump Monday in Washington to discuss the results of Trump's meeting Friday with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the war in Ukraine. Now, the conflict began in 2022 and Russia launched a full-scale investigation of Ukraine. The U.S. is trying to negotiate a peace deal between the 2 countries, but it's a complicated process. Jen Sullivan looks at what's at stake heading into Monday's meeting.
Ukraine and the European Union showing a united front Sunday ahead of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's meeting with President Donald Trump in Washington on Monday.
It's very important that you are with us and that we speak to America and we speak together.
Zelensky holding a joint news conference with EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Brussels. Meeting comes as the U.S. tries to mediate an agreement between Ukraine and Russia to end the war. A plan Trump now says calls for a peace deal rather than a ceasefire.
Whether we call it a ceasefire or it's a peace deal, stop the killing.
Monday's meeting at the White House comes on the heels of Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska. Zelensky was not invited to those discussions.
It is so important to have as soon as possible a trilateral meeting.
Putin, who launched the war in 2022, wants all of the eastern Ukrainian Donbas region in exchange for freezing the current front lines, according to European officials.
The one thing that the president cannot agree to on behalf of the Ukrainians is any sort of land swap. That is for the Ukrainians.
Ukrainian and many European leaders want NATO-type security guarantees. Under the NATO agreement, an attack on one country is considered an attack against all allies. That's something Russia is likely to strongly oppose.
It would be absolutely, again, impossible to ask President Zelensky to give up territories for freezing the conflict without the security guarantees.
Other prominent European leaders plan to join the meeting between Zelensky and Trump Monday. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
At the Medical University of South Carolina, we're transforming heart and vascular care in the Midlands. With cutting-edge clinical trials and the latest diagnostic procedures, we ensure that every patient receives state-of-the-art care. We turn groundbreaking into life-saving. Because at MUSC, innovation is how we lead. Compassion is who we are.
Hello there, and a very good evening to you. We're definitely going to be feeling some big-time heat as we go throughout your Monday. Not a ton of rain chances either through the middle portions of the week. We will have a little bit of a cool down, but the humidity sticks around, and more showers and thunderstorms will return into the picture. Temperatures not dropping off super fast here tonight. A lot of upper 70s. It's 75 from Sumter to Manning. 80 right now officially in Columbia after hitting 92 degrees today. Most of us right about 90, 91 or so. That was a pretty common number, right about average. You can see across the board pretty much clear skies out there, whether you're in the middle to upper 70s or so. Not much going on really anywhere nearby our area. We are seeing pretty quiet weather across much of the southeast with the area of high pressure in control right now, so that's good news, and that's going to be with us for the next couple of days. This is Hurricane Erin here, northwest of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then another developing system we'll have to keep an eye on off the coast of Africa entering into the middle of the Atlantic. But Erin is rocking it, still a very strong hurricane. It's now moving off towards the northwest. It'll curve to the north and then eventually off towards the north and east. Maximum gusts right now, 155 miles per hour. It's cruising west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. It will likely become a Category 4 again, and then a Category 3 well off towards our east before it starts to weaken and curves back out to sea. Not making landfall. This was a Category 5 storm. There's only been a couple storms that have ever reached Category 5 in the Atlantic Ocean that have not hit landfall somewhere, so it's definitely kind of a rarity. We're going to have pretty high waves just to the east of the Carolinas out into the open ocean. There will certainly be elevated waves if you're heading to any of the beaches. The biggest concern, rip currents. There's some of the erosion that's going to happen. We're not going to get into too much in the way of winds. It will get gustier by 10, 20 miles per hour or so, but it's the Outer Banks. Anything that sticks out into sea deals with more of tropical storm potential type conditions, but still fairly minor. Not a ton going on tomorrow. Very slim chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm developing. As we go on in towards Tuesday, it'll be maybe just a slightly better chance. We'll probably have more cloud cover at that point as well. Not much of a big risk into your Wednesday either. There'll be, again, just kind of the widely scattered activity by the time we get into your Thursday. So middle 70s for tonight. We'll see temperatures all the way into the middle 90s for tomorrow, and then back to 90 degrees after that. Once we have some showers and thunderstorms in here by Friday and Saturday, temperatures will cool on down back into the middle 80s.
Welcome into sports. I'm Jared Parker. Today, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney releasing a statement addressing the arrest of one of his players. Dabo Swinney says he is aware of tight end Ian Shefflin's arrest for an alleged DUI. Swinney released a statement saying Shefflin will miss some competition this season as a consequence. Swinney continued saying, "We're obviously very disappointed by the situation, but we are very thankful no others were involved and no one was hurt." The Clemson City Police Department said he was arrested before 2 a.m. Sunday morning and released on bond around 9 a.m. And today, multiple former Gamecocks were in action in the WNBA as Aaliyah Boston's Indiana Fever visited the Connecticut Sun. We joined this one in the second corner. We've got a former Gamecock actually on the Sun as well, but NC State grad Sanaya Rivers. Early on, she's driving, going to the cup. Sun up 17 points early, and the Sun lead continued to widen. Third quarter, rookie Anissa Morrow, she drives, she scores. Connecticut up 21 now, but the Fever start mounting a comeback. Boston dribbling, looking, driving, scoring, cutting the lead to 14. 12-point lead now. Boston going back to her jam, getting physical in the high post. Finds the low post, floats it up. The deficit is 10 points now. 2 minutes left. Fever down 2. Mitchell finding Boston in the paint. Boston ties it at 79, and the clutchness continued from the former Gamecock. Less than 30 seconds. Free throw line, Jay, to tie it. We're going to overtime. In overtime, kick out to Lexi Hull. Hull knocking it down. Fever win 99-93 in overtime. And fellow former Gamecock Asia Wilson was in action as the Las Vegas Aces hosted the Dallas Wings. Early on, Chelsea Gray finding Wilson after Wilson finds her. Wilson putting it up. First points on the board for Wilson and first points of the game. First quarter still, Wilson gets it top of the key, driving, drawing contact, and one for the three-time MVP. Second quarter, Gray kicks it to Jackie Young. Young finds Wilson. Vegas leading by 10. 1 minute to work in the first half now. Young finding Wilson once again behind the arc. That three is money. Asia looking like she's going for 4 MVPs here. Third quarter, Aces up 7. Chelsea Gray looking, finding a slashing Asia Wilson for the bucket. Fourth quarter, big Aces lead now. Wilson catches it in the low post, puts it up and in. Aces go on to win 106-87. Wilson with 34 points and 8 rebounds on the night. That would do it for sports, but make sure you catch our podcast, South Carolina Sideline, because recently Matt Dowell actually spoke with Asia Wilson's dad, Roscoe Wilson. That podcast is South Carolina Sideline. Go check out that episode along with many more.
We are going to see some pretty toasty temperatures for tomorrow, mainly sunny skies all the way into the middle 90s. It'll feel like closer to 103 degrees. Not many rain chances over the course of the next couple of days. Those chances will start increasing as we go towards the end of the week, and temperatures will drop just a little bit at that point also.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and we hope to have you back with us again tomorrow night. Sleep well, everyone.